but he actually is working in the community right now also.
Very cool.
It's been good to have him here.
I know, right? I'm like, this guy.
Right now today, he still faces a lot of hostility from police and agencies, government agencies, law enforcement agencies in regards to that, which actually we know on the streets that Stacy didn't do that. He didn't do that homicide, but he was blamed for it because he was there, and they were doing some stuff and they ran, but he wasn't one to pull the trigger, and so he had nothing to do with actually killing the officer, but he was the one that got caught for it, and then it brought a whole bunch of guys in conspiracy on it, and that was back in 81 to 90s. I think they had a hung jury, and then there was some problems that they were having with the witness, where the prosecution had them coming in and having sexual intimacy with someone in their office. So that's what kind of messed the case up with that witness, and that's why they ended up settling with them. Of course, all of them, Stacy had already done 12 years. He's looking at 35 years to life in prison. And he had already done 12 years in prison. So when somebody comes to you, and you got somebody come to you and say, hey, you can make a plea bargain right now, and we'll let you go. Versus trying it again and go back. So that's why he ended up pleading to the conspiracy with some of the other guys. And all those guys already been locked up for many years, so they ended up getting time served and getting out and so on. But he actually didn't commit that crime that they was accused of doing.
Yeah, that's really good insight. Because I mean, as far as like they were saying that was one of the flaws in the trial, was that the fact that one person was kind of targeted when there was a whole group and there was a kind of a gang shooting and gang bang thing going on. So again, with Lincoln Park, we see the hangout spots are Bay Vista Apartments and JFK Park. This apartment unit was really for low income initially, and it kind of formed in from the projects to where they are today. And so just for those who are working in Southeast County to be mindful of this, making sure that with RAP meetings, just making sure that you're not going to do the team building in JFK Park and do all that stuff. We also see a lot of multi-generational family members involved in the gang. One of the quotes from the guys was, if you were born into the hood, then you're expected to join. So it's really like, you can't really get out. You got to kind of be a part of this lifestyle. Some of the rivals are Skyline Perus, West Coast Crips, Logan Heights Gang, Rolling 40s, and Neighborhood Crips.
I have a question. Maybe you guys can help answer. When we are going into rap meetings in these types of neighborhoods where we know that there's active gang activity, what would you recommend us going in, for safety precautions, and how to kind of approach our families that maybe have a whole different idea of what I am and who I am walking into their house saying, hey, I'd like that.
What was that?
Well, what kind of insight can you give us as care providers to families when we're walking into these neighborhoods that are predominantly gang members and we're like surrounded there, and what we're coming in to provide a service, we get to stand behind family voice and choice and really stand with them, but how do you first build that rapport with somebody who you're obviously from two different walks of life and you're coming together? Like, what do you have any insight if somebody was walking into your home, how you would feel or in that situation?
Well, I would say a couple of things. Number one, what you're doing right here is will help you. And then number two, I would say one of the things that we're trying to do out in the community is and working with various agencies with the County of San Diego and so on, is to create street outreach workers. Street outreach workers are people like myself and us who have that connection, who know these guys and things like that. It would be good when you first are introduced, when you first go in, that you go in with someone that they respect or someone that they know, to where that they would accept them, because a lot of times they are some leeriness, not only with coming in and sharing information with people and trying to help folks. They're leery about that. They don't know who you are, who you report this information to, and so on. So they have to know that they can trust you when you come in. And then also, I think one of the things is on the other side of the spectrum, what I have seen is that when counselors and therapists come in, they are intimidated because they see some hardcore gang members and so on and so, and they feel like they can't deal with that. But as Pastor Simon was these young men, young women, they're human and they have feelings and they're just like anybody else, and you have to get to know them and build a rapport. So I think the more you do this work, the more you will be comfortable in going in and meeting these guys. I mean, you know, if you're there to serve and there to help and there to offer a service to them, and you present it right, they'll welcome you. And I don't think there to be any conflicts. Sometimes, you know, you are dealing with people who may have some extreme mental illnesses and things like that, to where you do need to, you know, use some precautions, but you should be kind of like briefed on that and before you go in and know what you're dealing with. So make sure you know what you're dealing with when you go in there, and take someone with you who is familiar with that area, that community, and maybe even that family that can introduce you and get you in. But then after that, it's about building a relationship,
Right.
building trust.
I feel like that maybe we're kind of safe when we go in because it's kind of non-threatening if we just say our purpose. But is there something we should wear, not wear, look for as a sign that maybe, you know, we should reschedule a different time because something's happening outside or?
I think something like that, based on what he just mentioned right now, the area where you're going to go provide, you know, these kids, whomever it is, you're going to meet, you know, it's gonna be what it's gonna be. You know, walk by faith, not by sight. You know, don't go in there already thinking, you know, the worst case scenario. I mean, things happen every day. It's gonna happen, it's gonna happen. But like you said, you just go there to do your job and do it to the best of your ability. You know what I mean? You don't have to go there and say, hey, you know what, I'm not here to bang. You know, just go dress like a professional the way you do, and just go.